Hey guys, welcome. Today we'll be doing a design for a sticker for a friend from it'll be Archer from Fate Stay Night and Fade Grand Order. Hope you guys can join me in enjoying and sketching yourself. What shall we talk about today? Well, today I happened to watch the newest episode of Steven Universe. I don't know if you guys watch Steven Universe, especially since they're taking such long breaks. I tend to see what's gonna happen, but I'm not super on the side of the hiatus, the such long breaks that you kind of lose track of the story. Anyways, for the new episodes, it's awesome that we get to see Homeworld as is, and I'm kind of excited to see the truth behind White Diamond. It's also just interesting to see other gems than just the ones we know. But the other thing I really want to get to know is more of Pink Diamond, which I assume that within the next couple episodes we'll get to know a lot more of. With the story behind Pearl and White Pearl, because we kind of got a glimpse of the past. We got to see, I think, a memory of Pink Diamond inside of Steven, which I think could be very, very interesting to see. The composition is really cool, but also Steven gets all these random powers, but there's no explanation. Nobody's there to explain. I'm hoping that, again, in the future episodes, within next couple episodes, the other diamonds will explain why diamonds have specific powers for a reason. I rewatched the reunited episode where Yellow and Blue Diamond come in and interrupt Garnet's wedding. And during the final battle, Steven ends up getting knocked out by, I think, Yellow Diamond. And he ends up in this, other dimension where there are statue versions of each character, which, to be fair, doesn't really make any sense to me. I don't know why it's like that. So I'm hoping there'll be an explanation of why it's set up like that. Because, to be fair, if everybody is represented by a statue of themselves, like their inner mind, we would have, it wouldn't just be a row of people. You would have just rows and rows and rows of people from Beach City, which, I don't understand. Maybe it has to do something with Steven's relationship with the other crystal gems and Connie. So I'm interested to see how that's going to go. But yeah, and then I'm also interested to see how the development of trying to convince White Diamond to move to healing the other gems, the corrupted gems. So we'll see. But the designs, the coloring, super amazing. Music is okay. I find it kind of out of place sometimes. Like the newest song, I can't remember the title of it, but the newest one, the latest one from the new episodes, kind of just came out of nowhere, and I'm guessing they're going for a more Broadway-like feeling, which is fine, but there should be a nicer transition into the music, so it doesn't seem so out of place. But I do like it. I still to this day hum the song in my head without knowing. I'll be doing something else and I'll start humming it without noticing. But yeah, I don't know, I'm interested to see how it's gonna go. So yeah, and now I'm about off to back to My Hero Academia because that's what I'm watching right now. I'm currently halfway through My Hero Academia, the third season, and it's interesting to see how Deku's gonna get out of the fight with the villains. Right now they're in the camp. Even though I pretty much know what's gonna happen because I've read the manga, so I already have a general idea. But it's been a while since I've read that part. So I'm interested to see how they're gonna handle all the action scenes. I've heard they're very, very good. The pacing is very good. I like the flow of the story. Nothing feels like it just jumps out at you. Or like the story pops, which is very nice. I'm interested to see the explanation of Deku reaching, was it 1,000,000% of All for One? So that would be really cool to see. We'll get to see more of the predecessors of All for One, which I'm very excited to see. I want to see All Might's a mentor, his teacher. You only get to see very much a shadow of her. So I hope we get to see how she actually looks like and maybe hear the story of how he became All Might. I haven't seen the newest movie that came out. I know we get to see his past self. If you guys have seen it, let me know if you get to know more about his past because I'll check it out. I just haven't seen it yet because I haven't had the time. But I am excited to know more because we're at a point where it's a changing point for all the characters. And to progress in the story, we need to add more. We need to know more. We need to go deeper in the past and how the development of the characters and, what makes them want to be heroes, what makes them be the hero that they are. So I'm quite interested to see how they will handle that. And hopefully they don't cut out any important pieces that tends to happen when you get an adaptation from a book, because a book has so many extra details to it, because readers have time to process information. They can take breaks when they need to when reading a book or a manga to process information. But when it comes to anime, viewers don't really have that time to process information, so which is cool. But people who do adaptation, they have to make sure that they don't cut out key essential parts of a character building or a thing that makes the character who they are. For example, people remember The Last Airbender, the adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it did terrible. It took out all fun parts of the characters that made them so lovable, that made them who they are, and took it and replaced it for more drama, which, drama doesn't always equal story building or character. We have Sokka, who turned into Sokka, and Sokka in the group, he's the sarcastic leader who jokes around, while in the movie version, Sokka is actually the downer. He doesn't build any confidence in his friends and his teammates. He doesn't help the situation. He always, which is fine to have a more realistic character, bringing it back to reality. But the reason why we liked Sokka so much, or people loving Sokka so much, is that he was the person that, even though he had to be in charge and knew when he had to take a charge, he knew when it was time to be in a lighter mood, to joke, to make people laugh, to be sarcastic, or to be angry. He knew the times where it was okay to be happy, or the times where it was meant to be serious. So, and then you have Katara, where they took her and made her very odd. she's supposed to be this motherly figure that's supposed to, want to protect, but also want to be better and want to know more about her waterbending and how waterbending is. And that's what made her so strong as a character, even though she's not my favorite because of all the emotional stuff. It's a little sad when adaptations take out very essential parts that make a story so good. And I feel like that's what tends to happen for anime or cartoon to live action, because when we have these shows, they have 26, 52, like multiple episodes to go through to build a character. Well, now they have to take these 26 episode character building storyline and then crunch it into an hour and a half, which in reality is never a good idea. To be fair, like, I feel like what they should have done with The Last Airbender is, one, probably direct the kids who were acting to make it less of a high school theater kind of acting to a more dramatical, and then split the story in two. Because what would have happened would be they would have had time to really taken the time to develop the character in the first movie and very, describe, and you get to know the characters better. But what happened was, because they took basically 3 movies and crammed it into one movie, very essential parts have been cut out. Like the episode where Katara meets an earthbender, finds out that this earthbender's family is on this island, and they're on this metal, almost like this metal ship, and during that episode, it's Katara that basically, she ends up on that ship pretending that she's an earthbender when she's a waterbender, trying to inspire the earthbenders to rise up because it's their life. And you see her in those episodes, see her grow as a character, as a person. Well, in the movie, they just traded that metal ship for a camp in a forest. And what's so disappointing in that is that these people are earthbenders. They bend the ground beneath your feet. Putting them in a forest camp on the ground doesn't really help your situation if you want to basically capture these people. And so things like that have made the movie very unlikable. It basically showed that, I don't know, but it showed that the director, the creators, the producers didn't really take the time to get to know the story or the characters, and just wanted to make a movie because it was profitable. So for future, like any anime or cartoon to live action, because they're shows, they have to have time to develop characters. So if you're going to have a very important storyline plot, it's better to split a story in 2, make a part 1 and a part 2, and then with the part 1, you can end it on a ending / cliffhanger, which would make people very interested because they would have had time to build a relationship with these characters as viewers. And then halfway through the story would start, so then they would start with the adventure, so they'd be really, rooting for our characters. And then when you get to the end of the movie, they'd be left with wanting more. So then you could make a second movie where people would go see. Well, that doesn't always happen. I heard that the newest news for anime to live action is Gundam Seed. They'll be making them into live action. I heard I think it's one of the Gundams. I don't know if it's Gundam Seed, but it's one of the Gundams, and I hope to God that they don't cut corners with this movie. I hope that they get the designers, the creators of Pacific Rim, and maybe even some of the designers of Transformers, because even though the movies themselves are mediocre, they're, just explosions, they could the designs, the rendering, and the modeling of the Transformers and put that towards Gundam, I think it could be very good. And then all that would be left would be finding actors that have the skills to take anime style acting, which is very over the top, very extreme, exaggerated, and taking that and rounding it out to a more realistic type of acting. I recently watched Bleach, the movie on Netflix, and to be fair, I found it okay. Not because, it's a excellent movie. It's because I went in there with low expectation because of recent anime to live action shows. And I found it okay. I found it, enjoyable. I'm happy I saw it, but I wouldn't watch it again. I thought the costume designs and the hair designs were very good. Effects were okay. The hollows were not very good, but that's, I think, just because of budget. The story was pretty good except for the ending. The ending was weird. I have mixed feelings about the ending. I thought it was a little bit rushed, and the conclusion just kind of came out of nowhere. So, and it did technically leave it on a cliffhanger, but didn't really leave any room for really wanting more. So we'll see. I did watch, the Full Metal Alchemist live action, and to be fair, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed the effects, I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the look of it. Taking something that's so fantasy based and turning it real is hard. So when I see fantasy movies look pretty decent, I can enjoy the artistry of it, the look of it, the work that's been put into this. So, we showed. As you can see, I'm just trying to get my rough drawing in because can't really clean up a drawing without a rough. But speaking of the Full Metal Alchemist movie, the acting was okay. It wasn't great, it wasn't good, it was just okay. And the reason why I say that is because clearly, I'm pretty sure the actors went back and looked at the show and how they act. However, they were trying to mimic the anime acting, and it doesn't always work with a live action show or a live action movie, just because nobody in real life explodes in their acting. In anime, they have to do that because when an anime takes a voice clip, they need a certain phonetic to a voice to be able to animate to. Well, when you're acting in live action, you don't have to because you're physically there. So, I feel like what they should have done is taken the anime, taken the basis, again, basics, and taken the feelers of the characters and then kind of molded them into more of a realistic acting, and I think it could have been very good. Here's a question. What kind of anime would you like to see turn into live action? Personally, even though, I hope they don't, I would love to actually see a My Hero Academia live action. But it would have to be made by Marvel. Just because I feel like they would be able to take whatever My Hero Academia could do and really turn it into something grand and explosive. And I think they have the crew for the effects and, all the necessities to turn it into something really realistic. But again, they would have to stay away from the type of thing that happened to The Last Airbender, just because it already has a massive fan base. And you're already taking a massive risk doing something with an already, established fan base. Like every fan base, like especially when a book is being turned into a movie, there's always going to be people saying, "Well, this one was better. The movie was better. The show was better. The book was better." But you need to, I don't like the face. You need to hope that at least put a little bit of effort and transform into something that could fit a live action style. And I know people say, well, they shouldn't make My Hero Academia live action because there's already X-Men. And I say, yes, but I feel like My Hero Academia could be even better. Maybe not a movie. I think it could be made into a really good live action show, to be fair. And it would all depend on the studio, how much money they want to put into it, how much time, what kind of staff. I would love to see how All Might would look in live action. And that's the nice thing, with cosplayers around. We get to see kind of how it would look in a live action kind of style. Wait, I wonder. Let's see. Who knows if this will work? Let's get rid of this head. When I draw, I'll draw like 3 or 4 poses before I decide on one. I'll change my mind every other second. I like this pose. No, I like this pose. I like these eyes. Oh, I don't like. So I'm just gonna do circle fist for now. Circle fist. You ask any artist, hands are the worst to draw. Yeah. Wondering, do I want to do something like this? You know what? Let's try it out. I can always do a standing pose pretty easily. Gonna move in the shoulder a little bit. All right, hip. What kind of other shows would be great as a live action? Well, I know they're already making it's a Detective Pikachu, but Pokemon movie. How do you feel about the whole Ryan Reynolds Pikachu voice? To be fair, I'm not a huge fan of it. Just because I don't personally find the voice matches really well. Maybe they're going for like a comedy type thing, but I just personally find it sounds totally off, and all I can see is Deadpool. So you'd have like, what is it? Pikachu. And he's like, hey, hello. Oh my god, terrible Pikachu. Anyways, Pikachu, and then it's like, I'm waiting for him to pop on his Deadpool mask. But I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully, somebody realizes that it's ridiculous and they're gonna go for something so ridiculous that it could be good. But right now I don't think I'm gonna go see it in theaters, to be fair. I don't like how It sounds. It sounds very marketed. I would love to see. I'd love to see Knights of the Zodiac turn live action, actually. I think it'd be really, really good. But again, like, people have to be careful because with all these transforming kind of, it's especially with like Sailor Moon and all those kinds of shows, having a transformation could be problematic. I gave Archer some hips. Ooh, we got some curves. Still dumb. But even you know what? I don't particularly read comics, but is there any comics you would love to see Marvel take on, like a live action or DC? I heard the new Aquaman movie is very good, so I'm glad to see DC is finally getting out of that dark, brooding kind of phase and going towards a more action-packed, story-based kind of movie. I still need to watch Wonder Woman. I haven't watched it yet. I heard that one's really, really good, so that's good to hear. I really liked, as a kid, all of the Justice League episodes. I used to rewatch them all the time. I still do, actually. It was funny, back in the early 2000s, DC was the thing to be on TV, like the Marvel stuff was good, but it wasn't great. If people had a choice between the Avengers or Justice League on the show, people would go see, as far as I know, would go see Justice League. And Marvel would be a second. So it's kind of funny to see that now Marvel is the one taking over and DC being left behind. We're going to do his bow. Just going to put a placer for now. Actually, no, we're going to do it the other way, like that. And then we're going to make him be hanging. I decided to make a keychain instead of a sticker. So it's basically going to look like. You know what? No, I don't like this. It's too feminine. I think I'm gonna make him. I feel like Archer would be always like straight, He's too good for poses. Even though he poses all the time with his bow. I feel like he would just, hang there, be ready to shoot in the air, attack anybody. He's always on the lookout. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. I don't know. I might change it. Have you guys ever watched Knights of the Zodiac? I've rewatched it a couple times. I've actually never finished it, the original one. I watched up to the end of the tournament and then for some reason stopped. Or no, just a bit after the tournament. But I did finish Lost Canvas, which is on Netflix. It's, I think, 26 episodes. And it leaves it on the biggest cliffhanger. And I found out they never finished the story. Well, as far as I found. Which is so sad because it leaves it almost, I think, right almost before the main final battle. And it's so sad. So so the basic of the story of Lost Canvas, if you haven't seen it, is there is two boys and a girl. One's Tenma and one's alone, and then the other one is, I can't remember her name. So the girl ends up being taken away from the sanctuary, which is the orphanage. Or no, sorry, gets taken away from the orphanage to go to the sanctuary. And then years later, so this girl's gone, and then there's this huge rainstorm, and Tenma hears that the village is about to flood because the water got redirected towards the village or the city, and so it's heading right for the orphanage. And so Tenma runs out of the orphanage and finds that there's a huge blockage of rock, and he gathers his Cosmo, which is like your inner energy, to basically break down the wall, and you find out that he has the potential to be a knight, basically, or saint. And that's really, so he ends up leaving too. So then it's just Alone. Well, you find out Alone met Pandora, which gives him a necklace, and you find out that he becomes Hades. And then the whole battle is Tenma figuring out what he should do about his friend, basically become Hades because he's like the ultimate villain. And then his friend, I won't say what happens to her, but she becomes an important factor, and it's between protecting her or saving his friend Alone. And it's pretty intense, to be fair. Like, it gets some, if you like a dark twist to anime, that's one way to one that you should probably watch, but be prepared to be left on the biggest cliffhanger, which is just the worst. Soundtrack wise, it's just so well done. Style wise, it kind of goes back to the old fashioned kind of Saint Seiya style, but a cleaned up digital version. So it's been modernized a little bit, which is really nice. But same colors, same kind of art style. There's no difference in the art style, which is really nice. Background designs are just stunning. Especially when Alone finds his secret garden. It's just absolutely stunning. I have never done background painting. Well, I've done a bit on my own, just on personal art, as you can see in my previous videos. But nothing super floral. It's like there's flowers everywhere. There's arches, and the Greek style is very just everywhere. It's so beautiful. So that would be one I would watch. Speaking of adaptations, what, for the people who read manga, is there any manga that you guys would love to see turn into an anime or a live action show? Could be either, but most likely an anime. I've had a couple. I would love to see Alice 19th be turned into an anime, just because I feel like it has definitely that card captor kind of style. It could be really good. Has some great morals. The whole moral of the story is that basically what you say has power in your words. So what you say is basically be careful in what you say, because different things you say and how you say them will have effect on other people. Like, our main character's insults or basically just completely destroys her sister, like insults and everything, and it is turned into this very dark spell, but it's just basic insults. So the moral of the story is that our main character learns with words and what you say, be careful because of the effect it has on people, which could be a great moral to show on TV, especially today. Clamp should take on that one. That one would be great to see. I think I'm going to make its head smaller. I don't like the big head. Like I said, I change my mind every other minute. Do I like it smaller? I don't know. Might go back to the big head to keep it cute. Anyway, let's do that. Pleats, pleats, pleats. All over the pleats. Pleats. I don't know. I do not know. What other... Oh, Siren. If you haven't seen that one, it's about our main character. I can't remember her name because it's been a very long time since I've read it. Our main character is... He always gets in fights. But he's like... He solves problem, quote, solves problem for money for other people by beating up people. So he always gets into fights. But then he gets into trouble and he wants to leave the place. He's just very bored of everyday life. So then he ends up beside a public telephone booth, and he gets a call from it, and somehow he ends up in this other world, and he has to survive from one telephone booth to another telephone booth. And when he gets back, he realizes that he has some sort of psychic powers. And the whole story is that when they get back, they have this card with a number. And for you to survive the game, which is traveling to this other world, you have to get your count down to 0. And so the whole story is figuring out where they're being transported to. It's a whole mystery, full of action, lots of good fighting, great story. So I think that would be an amazing anime, especially once My Hero is done. I think that one would be a good kind of kicker off of that, especially with like different powers, psychic powers. That also has a good moral to it. You know, be careful what you wish for. But I don't know, because it's been out for a very long time. The manga's finished. I think it's like 177 chapters. I highly recommend it to anybody who hasn't read it. I know back in the day I didn't read it, but it was very popular. A lot of my friends were reading it, and I didn't know that it was so good, and now I regret it not reading it with them. What other ones? There's so many. There's so many mangas. If you don't know, there's this app called Manga Rock that I use all the time. Especially when I travel, I fly. The nice thing is that if you pay I think it's like $5 for the app, you get to download unlimited amount of manga onto your phone until you can't have any more space on your phone. So it's nice when I can't get Wi-Fi that I can download manga onto my phone and then read it wherever I am. And the other amazing thing about this app, this is totally not sponsored, I just use this every day. The other amazing thing about this app is that once you find a manga that you like, you can save it to your favorite. So it basically starts a library on your phone of your favorite manga, and then whenever you get an update for that manga, it'll notify you by basically highlighting it. So that's really cool. So I don't have to keep searching for a new chapter. My phone will let me know when the chapter is ready to read. So that's really cool. If you guys want more suggestions for manga, let me know, and I will totally give you a bunch of suggestions. I have, I think, a 400 manga list on my phone. Something ridiculous like that. Yeah. What about, let's see. What else? How about books to movie? Are there any books that you would love to see turn into live action? I personally have reading Charlie Bone, and I know it's for like 13-year-old, but I think it could be an amazing movie if the right people were to film it. It's kind of a cross between Harry Potter meets X-Men. But most of the students don't have magical powers that go to the Bloor's Academy, which is the academy that our main character ends up going to. It's only a specific few that have abilities. The rest are basically prodigies in art and drama and music and education, basically. So our main character, he's not a prodigy whatsoever. He's been forced into this academy just because he has a special ability. And you find out there's a whole darker secret of the academy. We find out there's kidnapping and misidentities, and I feel like that would be an amazing series to get going in a live action movie. I think it could be really cool, especially for all Harry Potter fans. This would be a great kind of other franchise that could be great for those kinds of fans who like magic and mystery. And the series is already done. It's already been published completely. It's a 12-book series, and I'm only on book, I think, 4. So, to anybody who wants to read it, it's called Charlie Bone, the series. The other great thing is that you get to see our main character's family tree. And it's really funny. You'll have the tree. It'll say what power or ability or what talent they have under their name. And then how they mysteriously died. Like one, it said, I can't remember the person's name, but she was a dancer. And she died by continuously dancing for like 48 hours. So, if you like those series, I highly recommend that. Another Clamp manga that I highly recommend would be Wish. To anybody who hasn't read Wish, it's I think 3 books. Beautiful art style. Beautiful love story. It's about an angel that ends up on Earth to find this other missing archangel who's last known to be on Earth. And then she ends up being saved by a human because she was stuck in a tree or something. And so during the whole time, because she was saved by this human, she promises to grant this human's wish. One wish. But he doesn't believe in magic and angels and all those kind of things. So he just pretends like she's a fly for the first couple chapters. And then when she finds out that she's actually there and she won't leave until he grants a wish, he basically lets them stay there at the house. And then they kind of develop a romance, a relationship. But then they find out that heaven doesn't allow angel-human relationships. So then there's tragedy on top of it. It's very good. I highly recommend it. To anybody who likes that kind of Clamp feel. It's an older series. Ooh, how do the boots go? They go like this. Back in the day, Clamp was actually going to turn that one into an anime, and I got to see kind of like the OVA or preview of it, and it looks stunning. But I don't know why they ended up stopping making it. They never end up making it into an anime, which I'm very sad with, because I think it could have been a very cute slice of life fantasy kind of anime. It was very adorable. The ending was very cute. It didn't leave you in a wanting kind of more ending. It just finished it at the right time, the right pace. yeah, so I think I got my pose, my rough pose, kind of what I want. I feel like Archer like never smiles. I know he smiles at the end, but it's just like he never smiles. For now, I'm just gonna draw his hair really stupid. There we go. He has a V-shaped bra or bang line. Archer is definitely one of my favorite characters. Whoever does the voice acting, he does an amazing job. I love his voice acting so much. He definitely turns this rough, tough, moody kind of character to the suave kind of protector. Here's my question also, is to anybody who watches Fate, or I can actually even explain Fate. Fate is basically mages who summon servants who are heroic spirits. So in Fate's Stay Night, there is Saber, which is King Arthur as their actual identity. So mages summon heroic spirits as servants to their side for this ultimate kind of battle royale. There are 7 classes. There are actually more, but for simplicity, I'll just keep it as 7. There are Archer, Lancer, Saber, Caster, Assassin, Rider, and then the not always often Ruler. We only see Ruler in one of the Fate shows. If you were to summon... Oh, yeah. They... I keep getting sidetracked. So they summon these servants for like a battle royale thing. The ultimate goal is to get the Holy Grail. The last survivor gets the Holy Grail, which allows them a unrestricted wish. One wish. And it can be whatever type of wish. So, my question is... which class of servant would you be trying to summon? And if you were a servant, which class would you be? I personally find myself probably being a berserker. I tend to be very rough and tough, not very graceful. As for servant, I would either want a rider or a saber. And I say saber because I'm a huge fan of swords. I love the intricacy of swords. I love the art of swordplay. I love the building of swords, of the intricate details and artistry. So if I could try to summon, I would love to see if I could summon a saber. Rider, because not only do they have a weapon of their choice, but they also have a partner. As example, there's a character named Astolfo, who's like one of my favorite characters. He's adorable. He's a bean. Let's see if I can draw him by memory. I probably will botch this. Wait, no, that's not how his mouth is. His mouth is very adorable with this single tooth. Anyways, I'll just do this for now. Kind of like something like that. Anyways, Astolfo not only has a sword, a spear, but also a partner hippogriff that he can ride on. So I feel like a writer kind of has the advantage in some ways by having an animal partner. But that's just me. What would you guys like to summon? There we go. Astolfo. I love Astolfo. So cute. He's also known as the Trap King. Just because, and I even felt for it too. When I watched it, I watched the anime dubbed. Yes, I watched the anime dubbed. Don't sue me. When I watched it, the voice actor was clearly, I'm pretty sure, a woman. And I only found out later on that when he came out shirtless that it was actually a guy. So it's pretty funny. Yay. Okay. Let's see if I can clean this up a little. I feel like I need to give at least Archer a little bit more muscle. He needs that muscle. I made a joke that I feel like Fate and Yu-Gi-Oh would do a great crossover. Yugi could summon Saber as his like main servant with other kind of, so how Fate Granddaughter, which is the mobile game, how they divide their servants is by 3 stars. I think there's a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. So Yugi could summon his Saber, which is Arturia Saber, which is King Arthur basically, which would be a 5-star, and then a bunch of 3 stars on the side. And then Kiba would summon Gilgamesh, which he's known to be very arrogant. So I feel like that would fit very well. Gilgamesh is a archer too, which is kind of funny because he's not really I feel like he's more of a berserker, to be fair, because he uses like all the weapons. Gilgamesh's noble phantasm, I found out, is that it's called Gates of Babylon. So it basically holds every existence. So every servant has a noble phantasm, which is basically like their ultimate attack, ultimate weapon. So for our Arturia Saber, it's Excalibur. And apparently Gates of Babylon holds all of the noble phantasms. So basically Gilgamesh holds all of the power. It's even been told that he owns the Holy Grail, which was originally placed in the Gates of Babylon, which means somebody took the Holy Grail from the Gates of Babylon, stole it, lost it, and now the Holy Grail War happens. So yeah, like, to anybody who doesn't know what Fate is, if you're gonna go into the Fate community, be prepared for a lot of confusion and research on your part, because it's all over the place. But I recommend it. Very good. And if you want some very good soundtracks, that's the place to go. Like, it's really good. I listen to the soundtracks all the time during work because it keeps me awake. Kind of want to change his head. Like I said, I change my mind every other week. Huh. Yeah, maybe something like this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Head up, head sideways, or head forwards? Speaking of fate, I always ask this question to everybody because I think it could be really interesting. What kind of characters from like other shows would you think would fit in the Fate universe, and what class would they be? So, because I asked that because I was thinking Cardcaptor would be a great addition to Fate. I could see Sakura definitely being a caster class just because, you know, she is technically a mage. I could see Magic Knight Ray Earth being a really good addition to being casters slash sabers. What else? Lelouch from Code Geass, I could see being a very good assassin class. Oh no! Oh no! Anyways. I think for my next project, I think I'm going to do an Ancient Magus Bride poster. I gotta figure out what I'm going to draw though. It's not going to be Chise. I'm thinking maybe adding Titania. So maybe I could make like Titania sitting there against the tree with her knees kind of like this. And then I could have Chise maybe sleeping on the side like this. Kind of like sleeping on her side. Kind of like that. With like a tree in the background. I don't know. We'll see. And then have those weird floaty buggy thing. Maybe sleeping on the side here too. Like that. I don't know. We'll see. I can't really decide right now. That or I do... What else? I could do a... This is difficult. Difficult. I don't know what to draw. I had to work on those posters last Christmas. Now I can't think of anything. Maybe I'll do... I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. I could easily do another Fate poster, but I kind of want to take a break from doing Fate. I've already done like 3 different posters. Which is... I need variety kind of thing. I love Fate. I think it's a great, you know, franchise, but I think I need to just take a break from the Fate fan art. I know I'm drawing archery now, but I think I'm going to take a Christmas Fate break just to kind of get the creativity going again. Yeah, maybe I'll do Titania right there with her big bazongos. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a Reborn poster. I don't know if you guys seen Reborn. It was a Katekyo Hitman Reborn. I can do Tuna with his flame. Maybe he's like sitting in his Vongolov throne chair. Even though he'd probably be terrified all the time. He's sitting there, he's like, oh, got a leg there. And you're like, ha ha. Like, kind of like that. I don't know. What else could I draw? When you can't think of ideas, go to Google. Maybe I can draw, what else? I could draw another My Hero Academia poster with Todoroki. Ooh, you know what I can do? I could do the Shield Hero anime. I've read the manga. I'm actually up to date with the manga, and I was so excited to see that it was being turned into an anime. So maybe I'll draw the Shield Hero. I could see that being a really cool poster, you know, with the Shield Hero right in the middle with his shield, like kind of like, whoa, shield. Thumbnailing, hey. And then he could be like, epic pose. Kind of like that. Oh yeah, message, go away. Like that kind of stunt. And then he has like his big cape. Oh. And then he has his 2, I'm not going to call them slaves because they're not slaves. I feel like they're more like partners. Technically, in the story they are. But he ends up treating them very well. You'd be like, hey, the little girl's like, hey, what's up? I'm here. Yeah, y'all. Woohoo! Cheering. And then the Sora, the older one, could be standing there beside him, just like standing there, kind of like that, with kind of like a twisted pose, and her sword there. I don't know. What do you guys think? I kind of like all three ideas, so maybe I'll end up doing all three. I don't know. Let's see what else we could maybe do a thumbnail for. Oh, Radiant is a very good one. I like that anime / manga. I haven't watched Goblin Slayer, so I can't really comment on that one. Ooh, got some ideas. Shield Hero. I don't know if you guys watched the first episode. If it's anything like the manga, the first episode is going to be so shocking. Ooh, this one's interesting. Maybe I'll watch this one and give commentary for the next episode. Manaria Friends. Mysteria Academy is a prestigious magic school that teaches magic without discrimination to the three factions, men, gods, and demons, who usually are engaged in battle with each other. Two of the academy students are Anne, a princess and honor student, and Gria, a princess born from a dragon and human. You know what? I'm probably going to watch this one and then make a comment for the next episode. I think there's only one episode out yet, currently. Yeah, there's only one episode, so I might watch it. If you guys want to watch it and follow along, next episode we can talk about it to each other. I'd be totally down for that. Ooh, Mecha Ude. I heard that one was really good. I'll have to watch it. Yeah, right now it's like the winter anime outage right now, so I'm like looking out for all the new ones that have come out, because lately I've been finding the new animes have been not as good. I found them kind of lack something to them other than the ones that are just continuations from previous animes that have been out. I mean, like the new ones that are coming out, I find they're not as interesting. So it's interesting to see that there's some variation in the ones coming out, which is kind of cool. Ooh, Monster Strike, the animation. I haven't watched that one either. I need to catch up on some anime. I'll have to take a weekend of just, sitting on my couch and watching TV, which is pretty much my life now. I'm gonna look up anime list. Yeah. Ooh, have you guys seen Air Gear? I love Air Gear. I read the manga to the end because I thought that the anime ended too soon. So when I got to read the rest, I was very happy. But then it gets really confusing. So you're reading this, and then the story totally derails from just being a sports anime. It goes into this like ultimate tournament battle fantasy action kind of anime, and I was just very confused. So, what else? Ooh, Angel Beats. Oh, I still need to... Years ago, I made a plan to draw an Angel Beats poster, which was spoiler, the last episode when our two main characters end up getting reincarnated. I was going to draw them like this, holding hands back to each other. I know she has a hat in the new one. Like that. And then this was like water. This part was like water. And then the reflection would be the whole class with like the band and the other students of that class underneath. And then connected to the feet would be their past self. So like Angel would have her wings underneath. Maybe I'll do that one for February. I don't know. We'll see. This one's a lot of work too, because it has like a lot of characters. If I do this one, it'd probably be cleanup, just black lines, and then it'll probably be just simple coloring, just, you know, a flat color. And then just basic shadow and highlights. I say that now. But during, it'd probably be. Have you guys ever watched Anohana? Pretty much everybody's seen Anohana. Those who haven't, if you're gonna watch it, be prepared to have tissues or something like that, because the ending's pretty sad. And for those who have seen it without, you know, expecting the sad ending, the theme song of that last episode is forever engraved in your head. It's very, very heartbreaking. When I watched it, I was in my 3rd year of college, and I was not very happy with myself. I was getting very depressed because I felt like I was falling behind from everybody. So I was watching it, ended up crying, and then right after I watched an anime called Tokyo Magnitude 8.0. If you haven't watched that, that will make you appreciate your families for what they are. And you know, at the time, my brother and I didn't have the best relationships, but when I finished watching it, I was just happy he was there. So that's another one. If you're going to watch that one, be prepared with some tissues, maybe some chocolate, if that makes you happy. If not, find something that makes you happy. I'm basically right now just going through GoGo Anime's anime list because I can't remember what I've watched and what I want to do for posters. So I'm just trying to figure out. I'm probably gonna finish this one later. I don't know. I'm okay with it. I'm kind of like a meh kind of face right now. Oh. Anybody who was my age will remember Beyblades, and I loved Beyblades. Beyblades were so nice. I remember when I was in elementary school, my parents gave me my first Beyblade. Actually, no, I think I ended up saving money for my first Beyblade. Then we would dig a little hole that was like dish size, like that. And then it was just dirt. It was just, you know, grass. And then just dirt. We would put our tops right in the dirt. And all you couldn't even see the tops half the time. All you see was like this giant cloud of dust. And the tops would last like 5 seconds, and then you'd be there going, oh my god, what? And then when the dust would end, it would just be like, who won? And then everybody would start fighting, I won. No, I won. Kind of thing. Ooh, does anybody remember Blood Plus? I thought that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool anime too. I'm totally ranting. Chrono Crusade. Oh, that's another hard. Oh my god, what's all these emotions that keep coming back? Chrono Crusade was good. It's about this nun and this demon that she made a contract with. But every time that this demon, who's her partner, uses his powers, it shortens her life. But you find out throughout the anime they built a very strong relationship. They end up, falling in love with each other. So he doesn't want to end up, using his powers because it shortens her life. But then they're put in a situation at the end that there's no choice. So that one's also very sad. The manga at the time, so I was reading the manga as the anime was going, and then I finished the manga, which had a sad, it takes a lot from a manga to make me want to cry, and this one was making me just sob. And then I was like, okay, I know what to expect. And then the anime, I don't know if it's because the anime caught up to the manga or whatever, but it ended up taking a completely different route for the final scene. And they also just did this completely heart-wrenching ending. Also end up sobbing into a box of tissues. So good. Highly recommend. If you haven't watched it, watch it. My friend recommended it to me and years and years ago, and I finally ended up watching 10 years later. Does anybody remember Dice? As a Canadian, it was shown on YTV Saturday mornings. I'm pretty sure it was YTV. And when I was a little kid, Zoids and Transformers and Gundams, those were my kind of shows. So Dice was one of the shows that I absolutely love. I ended up trying to find it years later, and I found out that they've never really released the DVDs. I ended up finding the first DVD, so it has episodes I think 1 to 6. But then the rest of it is incredibly hard to find online, and I just happened to find it on GoGo Anime, and I'm just wondering, do they have all of the episodes? And it looks like they do, so I might end up binge watching that tonight. So if you like Power Rangers and Transformers and those kinds of things, you'll probably end up liking Dice. And it has for the dub version, the YTV version, it has a super catchy theme song that gets stuck in your head within 5 seconds. So be prepared for that. If you don't want a song get stuck in your head, then don't watch it. Well, I think I'm going to leave these options up. So we have Angel Beats, which I think I'm going to keep for February, but leave it up to you guys. So there's this one, which is option 1. We have Ancient Manga's Bride, which is option 2. We have The Shield Hero, which is option 3. And then we have Katekyo Hitman Reborn, which is an older one, which I don't know if many people know about it. It never got dubbed, so which is option 4. I think I'm gonna do these ones for like Fan Friday. So there'll be like a month-long project of these ones. So leave it up to you guys. So we have Chise. Okay, I'm gonna go back over. So number 1 is Angel Beats, and it's our 2 main characters. I can't remember the name because I haven't watched in a really long time. Being on the surface of the water, and the reflection being their classmates, with just a pretty sky in the background, because pretty skies. We have option 2, which is Ancient Maga's Bride, with Titania laying on a tree, just like sitting on the ground, with Chise sleeping on her lap, and then you have all these like, sheep bugs flying around / laying on the ground, and we could have like some pretty flowers and stuff. Some pretty flowers. And then we have the Shield Hero and just their crew, which will be just a simple background. I don't know, maybe we'll make it like look like a picture, like an old-timey picture. We'll see. So we have that, and then we have Katekyo hit memory bar, which is gonna be Tsuna in his like Vongola chair, and I think a couple of their members just standing there. That'd be up to you guys. What do you guys think? I think for just now the streams are turning to, what do I want to do? I don't know. Options, all of the options. I can make it like kind of like, oh my god. Originally I was going to do a Sakura card captors keychain where I was going to make Sakura be flying kind of thing. That, or I was going to make it like she's holding onto it going like, oh my god, hanging off of it. I don't know. I'm just coming back from vacation, so my brain is not completely back to artist mode. So for now it's just a bunch of thumbnailing. So I'd love to hear your opinion about that. And if there's any, like, I would love to do a series we watch together. And then we can do, like, weekly commentary on it of the episode. So if there's any series that you guys think that I should check out, I would love to hear about them. Just be sensible. I'd like to keep this stream mostly PG. To be fair. Last thing I want is to watch something that I'm going to completely regret. Do that V shape. I don't know. I don't know what I want his face to be fair. You can just do just gonna do whoa. Oh, and then he has like a bunch of straps on his pants, that's right. I guess I could also do a card capture poster. The original one I was gonna do was we had Sakura kind of like jumping with her wand in hand, kind of like that. Well, I guess it'd be this one now. But she's also reaching for a card that she doesn't have yet. So I guess it could be the new repair card. She could just be like, whoa, what? And then I know that because of Sakura, she has like, well, like, if we're going to be going by the new card standard, she has like a giant bow, which I find so weird. I know it's supposed to be like based off of her kind of style, but like, I find it so weird. Is this supposed to be like a butterfly, I guess? But then it could have just been butterfly wings. Why did it have to be a bow? I don't know. I prefer her other flight card, which was the wings. Made her look pretty like an angel. I'm a huge fan of like wings and stuff, so I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with the new cards. I find them both creative but also kind of lazy too. So like the newer cards which have like a human form to them, I find them very cool. Like they have this glassy kind of glass statue to them, which is really cool. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen. So yeah, that'll be, I guess, option 5, which is card capture. Yeah. Anyways, I'm probably going to leave it here. If you guys like it, subscribe. Come back. Chat with me while I sketch. Leave comments, or I think the question for this one is for Fate, out of the 6th class, not 7, 6th class, which one would you consider yourself? Which is Saber, Archer, Lancer, Caster, Assassin, and Rider. Which one and why? That's what I'm going to go on. Yeah. So, bye-bye. Well, enjoy your nights. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and see you soon.